Your Auto on Bramble Avenue in Madisonville is an independently owned automotive repair business. Since 1988, co-owner, Cincinnati native Tim Brockman, has spent countless hours here, building a very successful business with a very loyal clientele. At his home near Mount Lookout Square, Tim spends what's left of his spare time meticulously tuning up a second non-vehicular career.
Well, to be honest with you, working on guitars is not nearly as difficult as working on cars, which is kind of funny. I mean, actually people, obviously you're here because of the guitars. I mean, people just don't seem to care about the, automotive repair and what it takes and the years of accumulated information that you need to have. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting in that level. Anything that requires hands-on work requires some creativity. You find yourself working in a car, you're in a position where you don't have the exact tool that's going to work. You better somehow figure out some way to make it work. And it's kind of the same way when you're building a handmade product. You better figure out ways to make jigs, how to make tools, because it's not like you can pick up a catalog and find that exact tool that you're envisioning to do what operation you need done. So they both require creativity in that sense. Clearly they have similarities in terms of physical assertion too, which is kind of interesting. I've never been one that wanted to just sit behind a desk. I always like the physical assertion, that kind of gives you some release as well. So I think they have some similarities in that effect too. At this stage I enjoy building the guitars, so I think I'm happy with this the way that it is. I think if I was doing it and I had to make a living doing it, the pressure, the fact that I would be forced to try and sell more aggressively would probably take a lot of the enjoyment out of it. Plus the worry, you'd be looking over your shoulder, like you said, punching a time clock. How much time did I have in that? How much do I need to recoup now? And this way I don't feel like I have those pressures. The reason I'm doing this out of my home is I don't have the shop, monthly expenditure for shop space, which once again would put constraints on how well I can do what I'm trying to do here. Seeing that there's a greater demand for the car repair than there is for the purchase of new guitars, I feel more secure doing that as a daily business. For me, fortunately, it's strictly been word of mouth. Same with the car. Never advertised. I guess I never felt like that was the course that I wanted to go down. I always like having there being layers of relationships. Somebody comes to me, okay, I know who referred them and there's a relationship that's there. I feel more comfortable like that instead of trying to just get somebody that I don't know off the street to say, trust me, give me a chance. I'd rather somebody says, oh, no, I know what you can do, okay. I guess I don't feel like I'm a good salesman. My instinct isn't to try and push myself or whatever it is I'm doing. I'd rather somebody has an idea and they're willing to just say, okay, let's work together. The biggest difference would probably be the actual quality, or I should say intensity of figure, uniqueness of wood, things that factories or mass-produced instruments can't accomplish. The guitar can offer some advantages to a player, but to be honest, it's the player. I mean, you can take a moderate guitar and put it in the hands of somebody that's really good and they will make that instrument work, play, and sound great. And it's a real kick to have people that are of that caliber come to you and say, we like what you're doing.
This was his first guitar, and it's as good a guitar as I think I've ever played. It's a completely reliable instrument. It doesn't fluctuate with the weather. This is what I look for in an instrument. It is 24/7 ready to do what you want it to do. It's just a completely crisp, solid instrument, and it's totally reliable all the time. And it's a tool. They're like saws and hammers. They're beautiful, but they're still just tools. What you want out of a tool is for it to behave properly all the time. So that's what I look for. And that's what I found in this.
I took my mom out, I guess, one night to see Kenny. I mean, I've never seen her smile so big in her life, you know. It's like, yeah. And I think that that's probably the biggest payoff for me at this stage. It's not for the money. I hope to see a lot more people out playing my instruments in the future here. I never would have pictured that starting out I would have this level of success. You know, it was like, okay, yeah, this is a great dream in the back of your mind, but this is going to take years to get there, and it came a little quicker than I was expecting. And in that sense, it's, you know, pretty rewarding. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now, Robert. You know, I hope for the best. Clearly, if you look around the room, I think I'm going to be doing it 10 years from now.
And there you have the Brockman.